To many questions asked many learned Bantus, they give very academic answers. Are you born 3 times? True or false? How do we prove our answer or answers? What about totems? How do they come into these births? Scholar East Africa points out that our freedom depends only on our ability to derive answers to questions which are very difficult, and the answers must be derived independently without depending on external help. So answers must come out of us, not elsewhere. Why? Because that deepens the building of our true identity, of which we never hear from churches, mosques, or other sources except from us. And that must synchronize with the reality of who we are. For many want to kill that identity and take it and live off by it or through. Let us begin in the present. Let us begin today and right now by asking the question, who are you? This is a very, very hard question, and to know the true answer to this means rather that we have discovered the identity of ourselves and we have been able to answer our ancient call by our ancestors, know thyself. The body is the temple of the gods within you. Therefore it is said, man, know thyself. Our identity then, we know now, is tied up with the 3 natural births that we have. Our ancestors, we now know, knew that animals had souls. They were alive. They cry when they want to be killed. When they know they are killed, they gang up on the place where people killed those animals or other animals. So the animals became a symbol of certain divine qualities of life. The animals do that on their own without us training them or showing them. They identify the identity of them as animals and as created by the divine creator. They are taboos that we know exist, and we know that in ancient times it is known that humans rarely killed animals like what they are doing today. Let us look at the issue of whether animals have got life and consciousness. We look at the treatise on Mahati, a book written which you must have, written by Dimbombari Mbok. You can get this book from Lulu, you can get this book from Amazon. It says the African or the Somali, the ancient Somali word naf, which is similar and found within the hieroglyphics tefnat, tf, which is a snake, and wave nat, and t, which is the cross of the line of entering into physicality, and the snake gives the word naf, which is soul, nafti, which is soul, naif, which is soul, breath, or nefti, which is the spirit or breath. We can see that these forms have prospered within the Semitic languages. The Hebrew call it nafash, to breathe, to pant, to exhale. The other Hebrew is nefesh, which is soul, which is life principle or person. And the Phoenician is naps, which is soul or self. And Akkadian is napasu, which means to breathe. Another Akkadian is napistu, which means life. Another Akkadian, these are African languages, is napahu, to ignite that divine spark. Harari is nafaha, which is to blow up or to blow right into an instrument, just like to give life into that instrument or sound into that instrument. So an animal cries because there is soul. The sound that you make when you are suddenly frightened, that is the soul. That is the air, that is the spirit, that is the sound of the spirit, which bypasses the tongue and uses the voice box. So totemism, now connected to the souls of life, reveals the knowledge according to which humans and animals interact as creatures sharing the same condition of divine essence through the energy that impregnates them all, the energy that is inside them. And yet humans have a slight elevation over and above ordinary animals, but that's not justification to destroy, to abuse, to kill these animals. The word Bantu is the richest word you can ever know and find. It's there in ancient Hemet. It's everywhere where the original indigenous people are found. The B, the Ba is the Ba, which is a spirit. Then 2 is the Chinu or Sintu or Into, which is the animal body or the flesh. This is your flesh and the body. Flesh and blood and bones similar to the animal. Just like that, it is flesh and body and bones and blood similar to that one, a human being. So totems in a way are the dual icons of gods and goddesses of ancient Africa. This is the bird, Horesu. That's my totem, Horesu, so-called Horus, flying up. It's a symbol, it's power, it's symbolic, it's energy. Very important, African art is usually of composite images. The soul essence is pictorially shown, interacting with matter, allowing the divinity to experience physicality at the human and animal level. That's how the divine can experience that low energy, this very low vibrating energy that we call matter. It also teaches via symbology the incorporation of natural energies in animals and nature, the trees, the water, the rocks, the stone, as well as the serious identity ramifications permeating and knitting together the 3 births which human beings must experience and must seize and understand. We must always practice the lessons or real energy or self-esteem vis-a-vis totemic praise poetry. That's what we should use, totemic praise poetry. These are what people call idols or gods. Confusion on whether our ancient ancestors in Africa worship animals or trees lies in the misunderstanding of totems. These are totems. They represent totems that were borrowed and that came from ancient Africa, inner Africa, as well as the hieroglyphics. They represent the totems. Born 3 times by your totems. Do you know you have 3 births? But you have seriously 1 birth to consider and to work at. The other 2, you don't have much to say about them, but only 1. What a favor. After each birth, you must grow and develop. If any biological entity does not grow, it fails. Are you growing? Do you know which birth you should concentrate and focus on? Your parents created you, but you have to create the other 2 births. Which ones are these 2 births? Our ancestors taught the 9-fold soul, which is now depicted by your kinky hair or the number 6 or the number 9. That's the key. And the word that goes with the 9-fold soul is Kakati Ba Abukai Bit Kusau Sekem Renyu. We shall deal with a number of the souls that are involved here. So your first birth has goddesses or totems surrounding it. There is the goddess Hathore surrounding it. The disk, the sun, the moon comes into play. The 9-month year comes into play. We have Tawareti, again a goddess, a totem. Hence the head of a hippopotamus, because of water, you are coming from the waters. With the arms and legs of a lion, because you need that sun, you need the sun, you need the energy of the lion to be born again. The brevity and the hunting ability, you need that energy. Tawaret was a goddess who protected women during pregnancy and childbirth. So these are involved in your first birth. Your first birth is when the sperm and egg fuses to give you life. That point of fusion, that instant of fusion, that's when the spirit, the soul comes in and causes that fusion and watches that physical body to enter it at the point of parturition. Exactly. We deal with it. The god best is god of joy and happiness. Yes, fusion is okay. He's an African, comes from Central Africa. The god Aman also alleviates the pains of the pregnant woman while delivery if she said his name. So they have to call Amen to come to that point of parturition. This is the way they gave birth, in a squatting position, giving birth assisted by the 2 gods, Hathore and Tawaret. Look at the totems. Look at the gods. These are not human beings. They are human beings, but they are gods, divine gods. And after that, you are introduced to it nature. A woman supporting a child with her left hand reaches for a fig, the tree of life, to give you life and existence. That's involving your first birth. And the first birth also is where the Trinity comes in. Our story in ancient Kemet, African spirituality, that involves the Trinity. The knowledge and reverence of the black woman as co-creator spirit is very evident in our indigenous cultures all throughout the continent and around the globe. Straight, Ausari, Isisu, Horesu. Straight, and it was copied by others in the Hebrew version. You look here, this is the creation by Klim, with knowledge, with the symbol of a totem, symbolizing the dual nature, spirit coming into flesh. And this is the Greek version, the hermaphrodite, the soul, original. That's what they teach. 380 BCE, 1800 BCE. So who copied who? And then 250 BCE, Adam and Eve story. The tree of knowledge, we have already seen it before. That's the story. That's our teaching. That's the three births. And then we've got the second birth, which involves your two totems now coming into effect when you come out of the waters of your mother into the waters of the earth, into the world. You get your totem from your father, you get your totem from your mother. You can't fail to have this. And then other multitude qualities of totems coming out of your mother's womb into this world. And the blood comes in. This is you now. Mother and father has given you the potential, and then now you are out. You are on your own. They are training you. This is the second birth, which is the critical birth that we must work hard on to grow in divine service and knowledge. And we see that it involves the mind and all the symbols and all the gods and all the goddesses. That involves the second death and all the baboon totems. And totemism has, as with all other totems, carries critical and important meaning, like wisdom, knowing your times, knowing how to reap your time, kepera usis tiko, and the stars, which in Kanyezi, Pezule Zulini, connecting us with the heavens and the earth, cosmic connections, and mental and health, and the lunacism or madness when the moon is not a full. We see there, it's clear, it's straightforward. Then we go to the third birth, which is now after your growth and your maturing, you now die and give up a certain portion of your soul. A number of your souls depart. This carries your name, Renu, and the bar, the Bantu, the bar now, bed hovering on your money, which is your heart, your body, moves out. And now you go to the judgment seat where Ausari judges you. The ostrich feather worn upon the head of the goddess Mahati, and Mahati personifies the laws of all existence. She represents truth, justice, law, divine, and will and order. And as such, the image of the feather depicts the qualities that you should have developed concerning the truth, concerning the law, because the judgment concerns the weighing of your heart against this feather. If your heart is heavier, if you were living an incorrigible life, there are consequences. If you lived a good life, there are also rewards. In conclusion, if you do not master well the growth phase that we have just spoken of, and if you fail that growth phase, you will be consumed by a goddess called Amutu. All totems are involved in the three births. When a person dies, their soul is found wanting. They are eaten by this, a demoness, Amut, who lived in the hall of Mahati, where the dead awaited judgment. She had the head of a crocodile, the body of a lion, and a back end of a hippopotamus, the same combination that had you made by Kunum. A combination of the three of the most dangerous animals in ancient Africa. When the dead men's soul weighed against a feather of Amut, would devour them, symbolic that you have failed to proceed, and then you are going to be reborn again and reincarnate again in this world. And start again the process of the three birth life cycle until you pass and proceed out of this cyclic rotation or cyclic pattern. This is Priest Rabbi Helem Dumizulu. Subscribe to our channel, Hamitibu Ethics. Contact us on our email. Visit us on our website, lifespiritofamenhem.com. This is life. These are lessons of life which we should master and live by. Thank you. Tatenta Siabonga. Till we meet. Goodbye.